lean in, because you are going to be amazed by what you receive. Now, one thing that I have always done in our church is we don't just honor the word that they're bringing, we honor the man that God has gifted with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to raise to your feet and give a warm welcome to Michael Grinder.
We're about to sneak into Michael Grinder's training room. He's a pioneer when it comes to nonverbal communication. Let's listen as he shares some of his secrets.
How many people in here are ministers or serve in churches? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to share with you some skills tonight and have you decide how you want to use them. And then we want to make sure that the footage that we're using here is available to give free or put on the internet so that other people can receive the same information. And then Craig's going to give me a copy so I can put it on my website and say, I did it, I did it. What are you going to learn? What are you going to walk away with? Well, one of the ways to look at communication is to pretend that there are what we call 4 levels of your professional development. If you can see that from the back row, would you raise your hand? Is it clear enough? Can you actually see? Good, that's cool. So when you start any kind of professional development, the first thing you have to learn is your content. If you have 2 people that have the same amount of content, such as knowing the Bible, then the person who knows the process of how to deliver that tends to be a better communicator. So this is what's called the verbal level. This is the nonverbal level. This here is what we call the what of communication. This is the how of communication. 2 different levels. But there's more levels besides that. You have what's called perception. Perception is timing. When to do the nonverbals. And then the last one is called permission. So who has permission to talk? And what do they have permission to talk about? So I need to make sure before I start, I step off to the side and tell you, my neighbors say that I'm not a Christian. So if that's a qualification for you to listen to me, you probably either want to leave or have me leave, one or the other. I'm just a vehicle to try to share with you nonverbal communication. What you do with it is your responsibility. It's not ethical or unethical. Nonverbals are like a book of matches. It could burn down a whole church, or it could light a fire and keep us warm. It's not ethical in and of itself. So that's what nonverbals are. Your nonverbals are going to fit 4 categories. It's what you do with your eyes. Those are called the visual nonverbals. So eye contact. Your voice, auditory nonverbals. Your kinesthetic, your body. And then breathing. And breathing is the most important one. Stand relaxed under pressure. So we want to give you some examples of this, and then we're going to apply it directly to spiritual facilitation. Because how you do your nonverbals has a great impact, whether you're doing a whole church or you're doing one-on-one communication with someone. Example. Would everyone please take both hands and hold it out like this? Let's have good learning. The wording's going to be, let's have a good learning. Ready? Go.
Let's have good learning.
Now take and put your hands up. Same wording. Ready? Go.
Let's have good learning.
See, the second one sounds friendly. The first one sounds harsh. One more time. Come on, come on, come on. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Ready? Go.
Let's have good learning.
Keep your eyes closed. Palms up, palms up. Ready? Go.
Let's have good learning.
Open eyes. So if you want to be friendly, if you have here's your kinesthetic. If you have your palms up, your voice sounds friendly. If you have your palms down, it sounds harsh. Then if you want, in addition to your palms, now we're going to do our head. So watch my head. I'll go sideways so you can watch. We're going to have our palms down. We're going to go like this. Let's have good learning. Ready? Come on, palms up. Come on. Make sure your chin comes down. Ready? Go. Oh, that's good. It looks really good. Now go like this. Now you have to bob your head. Let me do it first. Let's have good learning. Ready? Go. So you're going to find that if you want different voices, change your body. Change your body. Your voice is just a byproduct. Your palms, your head, and your chin. Those three. Now, here's what's amazing. Whichever voice you have, and there's two. One is called your approachable voice. It's your friendly voice. And the other one is called your credible voice. Your breathing connected with these two make a huge difference in terms of what's going on. Example, if I have this flat voice, or if I have this rolling voice, if I have high breathing plus the flat voice, it's going to sound like I'm angry. You need to stop now. Whereas if I breathe low, you need to stop now. It's called definitive. Anger does not work. A flat voice plus high breathing is anger. A flat voice plus low breathing means I'm definitive. I'm not going to budge. So that's your ethics. So some people go, well, I'll just never use that voice. I'll always have my voice going up and down. After all, I'm an Australian, and all Australian voices sound pretty friendly in terms of what goes on with what's going on. You can't escape it. If you have high breathing and a friendly voice, it sounds like you're pleading. Example, I'm going to breathe high, and I'm going to have my shoulders go up, and I'm going to bob my head. I'm going to go, please, can't you contribute? Compare that with low breathing. So my stomach's going to go in and out. I'm going to go like this. Please, can't you contribute? When you breathe high, you're in trouble, apart from the voice. You got to breathe low. Now, here's an example. Take one hand and put it just underneath your rib cage. Take the other hand and put it on your opposite shoulder. We're going to ask you a series of questions and see which one moves. If this hand is moving, you're breathing high. If this hand moves, you're breathing low. Pretend you're in the grocery aisle of life and you're shopping. You come around the corner and you see someone you really like. Nod your head as you're thinking about that person. Think of someone you really like. Now notice which hand is moving. It's usually the bottom one. Finishing having that conversation, go around another corner and you come up with someone you don't like. Nod your head as you think of someone you don't like. Which hand is moving? Ba-boo, 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 ba-boo. Let's do a couple more. Think of a food that you really like. Nod your head. Mine's gelato. I just love gelato. Now think of a food you don't like. Nod your head. Now think of a vacation you've been on in the past that was a wonderful vacation. Now pretend you're looking at the bill, how much it cost. And then end with someone you like on a vacation with a food you absolutely find delicious. So let's end up with this one. 4 levels. We're only dealing right now with the nonverbals. The nonverbals, 4 categories: eye contact, voice patterns, body, and breathing. And we're going to introduce you to what we call circles of humanness. Circles of humanness. So the first thing you notice when you meet someone is appearances. After you get to know them, then that's replaced with behaviors. And if they live in the same house, you work with them, that's going to be replaced by what's called styles. Then if you know them for years, you start learning their values. And then you have your core. So we're going to walk through and remember this. We're going to memorize it. So we're going to ask you to take one hand, spread the fingers apart, and we have 5 circles, we have 5 fingers. And we're going to, in just a second, touch, and we're going to go appearance, behaviors, styles, values, and core. Ready? Say it with me. Ready, go. Appearance. Now to help you remember it, put your thumb on your belly button. Because the first 3, the first letter, A, B, S, stands for your abs. So in just a second, we're going to go, let me do it alone. We're going to go appearance, behavior, style. Then we're going to move up to our heart, value, core. Ready? Down here. Ready? Go. Appearance. Good. What you want to do is when you're doing spiritual facilitation, you're trying to do the core, the values and the core. That's spiritual facilitation. It's the heart. It's the essence of another human being. What you do with your nonverbals determines which level you approach on. So that's why we want to tie these 2 together. And once you have them together, you go, okay, I have choices. Remember, no ethics, it's how you use them. If I do spiritual facilitation and the person breathes high, I lose permission to facilitate them. Watch it again. We're tying 3 posters together. I'm trying to reach their core. How I use nonverbals, if they breathe high, I probably don't have permission and they're going to resist my spiritual facilitation. So I've got to use nonverbals, reaching the core so that they're more receptive. That's our goal. I want to talk about appearances. You react to people right now, tonight, in this church. And how do you know statistically how people respond to you? We're going to ask you to form groups of 4 and 5 people, and you're going to look at each other's faces. And we're going to study how people respond to you. So if you would, gather together, groups of 3, 4, and 5, kind of gather together. All right, now do this. Look at each other. Who has the widest face? And who has the thinnest face? Who has the wide face? Who has a thin face? Look at each other. Look at each other. Look at lips. Look at lips. Who's got the thin lips? Who's got the big lips? Thin lips, big lips. Look at the mouth. Who's got the big mouth? Who's got the small mouth? Eyeballs, big, small. Eyeballs, eyeballs. Here's what you're going to find. We were talking over here about a friendly voice and then a flat voice. Those are behaviors. Those are behaviors. But before someone ever talks, you get impressions of them based on their appearance? Yeah. Yeah. And sorry, we're talking about the Western world in general. Even though I go to Russia and Japan, we're just talking about the Western world. If you have a lot of traits in this column, so a narrow face, very small lips, small mouth, small eyes, and this is called the cave. What is the cave? The cave is your eye socket kind of inside your skull, or is it towards the surface? Someone has to study these things. I study these things. So then what happens is, if you have a lot of things in this column, people think you're very serious, you're businesslike, you're going to drive people, and you may be very stressed in life. If you have a lot in this column, they think you're happy, good-looking, everything is fine. You know what I mean? None of this is true. But you still are affected by it. If you're going to go talk to someone, I'm going to go to a meeting, and I know, based on my appearance, I want to be seen as very, very friendly. But I know as soon as I start talking, my voice goes down. I really sound credible. Don't talk. Let people have that impression of you. They go, well, that's a real friendly face over there. Then don't move, don't talk, don't do anything. And they go, wow. Then wait for at least 10 to 20 minutes. Then when you start talking, they've already cemented in their mind, you are friendly, you are friendly, you are friendly, you are friendly, we're going to get along fine. If you're going to go to another meeting, and you have to be very serious, you want people to really take you seriously. I don't know why men always pull up their pants when they want to be serious. I don't know why men do it. All over the world. Okay, well, what do women do when they're serious? Easy. So if you have lots of things in this column, when you go into that meeting, don't do anything. So they get the impression. Wrong impression, but they get the impression. Because if you have this kind of a face where your voice goes, hi, how are you? It won't work. So you need to know, when do I want to just be myself? Well, be myself on what level? Appearance, behavior, styles, values, or core. And that's one of the messages that we'd like to leave you with today. Please be aware, not how you see yourself. Because you see yourself here. But people are first appearing this way. So just be honest. By the way, 2 things you have to have in order to change yourself or someone else. These are the 2 ingredients. I just love these. This is not my own, someone else's. You have to have the ability to self-reflect. Think. Secondly, you have to be honest. See, some people, they can reflect, but they're not honest. They have blind spots. They can't see how other people see them. Other people are extremely honest. They just never take time to reflect. So you have to have both of those in order to make changes. So if I may, in terms of spiritual facilitation with someone else, one-on-one, if the person is missing those 2 ingredients, I will do my best, but I won't spend any extra energy. Why? Because they don't have the makeup. But if they have the makeup, those 2 things, I'm going to really take a little more time, going to see the person more often, make sure I call them, text them, how you doing, how life's going. So just those 2 ingredients, spend time with those people. Really, really makes a difference. If your appearance are this way, and it matches your voice, now you have 2 circles out of the 5 that are communicating the same thing. But if you have 2 traits in this column and 3 in the other, throw this away because you have a mix. You're okay. But if you have 4 out of the 5, whoa. And then if you have 1, like some people have really big eyes, 1 trait can be all anyone ever responds to. Compensation is what you always want to do. If you can't afford Botox, if you're not going to pluck your eyes a certain way, brows, you have to make sure. Just compensate. So remember, there's 5 circles. There's 5. And it does make a difference in terms of how you appear. Okay, now we want to talk about past behaviors. It's called style. What is style? There's a lot of different models of style. Myers-Briggs, DISC, what color is your parachute? Strength finders, just lots and lots of good ones. Here's my favorite. I like taking the idea of your knowledge of household pets at home and apply it to people. It's called looking at people as if they are a dog or a cat. Sorry, I have a low IQ. I make things simple. When you call a dog, it comes. When you call a cat, it scratches its belly. And if your voice doesn't sound like a can opener in the kitchen, why should it come? It just rolls over and takes another nap. So dog people are friendly, cooperative. Oh. Dog people are this here. Cat people are over here. But that's only on the appearance level. Style is different. Now, if you would, think of someone in your life that you would say is friendly, cooperative, they just really want to get along with everyone, and resist the temptation to turn and say, he's talking about you. Think of 2 people that you would say are dogs. If you can, 1 in your private world, 1 in your professional world. Then come over here. Think of someone who's a cat in your private world and someone who's a cat in your professional world. Now, what is the difference between these 2? That's what we want to talk about. Cats, when you call them, have an answering machine, and they might get back with you later. Cats see you as servants. If they want to get on your lap, and they're sitting on your lap, and you want to get up, they will take their claws and dig it into your thighs, because to you, you're just warm-blooded furniture. And they see it as an absolute royal bestowing on you that you get to hold them on your lap. You have to understand, dogs are very easy to manage in your professional world. Cats are really hard to manage. They're independent. They don't believe in authority. They don't believe in hierarchical. Dogs always help you. If you're going to have like a party, because we have some food back there. Who brings the food? All the dogs. Who are the cats? Good, there's food here. It must be for me. If you have a family get-together, all of the dogs, they'd only say when they're coming, what can I bring? What do the cats do? I don't know if I'll come or not. They're waiting for a better offer. Maybe someone else will invite me to a better place than yours. So when you get used to the idea of dogs and cats, there's nothing good or bad about either one of them, unless you're trying to manage them. You find managing a dog. What do you mean you're trying to manage a cat? Come on, you can't manage a cat. A cat's a cat. There are 2 traits that separate dogs from cats. And in both cases, they have the same initials. After we do this, and you're going to talk to your neighbor next to you about people you know that are dogs and cats. By the way, your own self-image is probably not accurate. That was supposed to be funny, but I'll work on it. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So a dog trait, the T, stands for tranquility. They love peace and quiet. They don't like conflict. The R stands for routines. We've always done our church service this way. Why are you changing it? See, dogs never like change. Cats, it's not so much they like change, they like chaos. Because in chaos, then there's no rules. They have more freedom to do whatever they want. What is the T and the R for a cat? The T for a cat stands for tension. They really like tension. And in fact, if you have a member of your family that you were raised with, a sibling, and they're the cat, anytime life was too peaceful, they would stir it up. They would kind of scratch someone. Go, how many people in here are parents? You go for a ride in a car. Kids are in the back. Let's pretend that they're not allowed to do electronics, which means they have to talk. Kids always say to their folks, we have to talk. Why can't you be like a normal parent? We have to talk. So you're going to now drive for at least 30 minutes. And what happens is no electronics. Whoever the cat is among the children, they get bored. So what they're going to do is they're going to scratch one of their siblings. And then there's conflict. And their eyes light up. This is going to be fun. I love what we're about to do right now. Now, if they're the younger one, the bigger siblings kind of bring up the fist. And what does the cat do that started all this? From the back say, Mom, Dad, he's picking on me, picking on me, picking on me. You can show them video footage of how you started it. You show them video footage. They go, oh, you're good. Most people can't doctor it up. That was not me. I'm sure it's not me. Really good. Hollywood quality. Why is a cat so hard to deal with? They have amnesia. See, if you're a parent or you're a manager, even in a professional setting, you go over and go, I'm going to have a stern talk with this person. So what do? You normally will go to this voice, this wonderful voice in which you have the flat, your palms and your head and your chin. You go, listen, you don't do that in this building, this company, or in this family. Do you understand? Now, the cat may not want to take you on because you look too big. But as soon as you turn and walk away, they have amnesia. So then you go, I've got to do it more. I got to be John Wayne as I walk over in terms of doing that. Listen, Pilgrim, you can't do that here. They still have amnesia. My real cat at home will get up on the kitchen counter. I will come in the room. I'm the mean parent, according to the cat. My wife is the nice parent. The cat sees me, jumps off the counter. I walk through the kitchen. I go to another room. The cat jumps right back up. That's how they think about rules. So once you understand dog and cat, you go, holy cow. Cats love this. What is the R? Risk. They take great, great risk. Let's pretend we're having a church meeting. There's people sitting there. There's 5 to 10 people. And we're talking about something we want to do as, what is going to be our fall campaign? What do we want to really have as a campaign to help people? You're going to find that most of the cats are going to start getting sleepy. They're going, this is really boring. And all the dogs are going, yeah, and I could bring donuts. Yeah. Coffee? Yeah. We could really make it nice. The cats are bored. One of the cats wakes up and disagrees with who's ever running the meeting. Oh, this is going to be something. Why? Because all the dogs are going to go, oh boy, I got to get out of here. This is going to be a little bit conflicting. I don't like conflict. I don't like conflict. But what about the other cat that's asleep? This is good. I'm going to watch this one. This is really good. So now you have a good understanding of cats and dogs. And I want to suggest you have to understand you are not a cat or a dog based on your core. It's up here. It's style. It's style. There's some values associated with it, but it's not you. It's a style. Because then it makes you a little more optimistic about how to get along with that person. What is the family that you come from? Do you come from a dog family? Do you come from a cat family? The majority of the people in your family. And if you have an extended family, just as a culture, what does your last name represent? Is it dog or cat? I come from a cat family. I'm the nice one. So my self-image as I walk through the world is, I'm nice, I'm kind, very facilitative. I'm the one that the siblings call and say, listen, I still won't like my sister because what she did at Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day. So then I call the other one, I don't think she meant that. So I'm the ambassador. I'm the liaison. I go back and forth. So my self-image is I'm a peacekeeper. But that's only compared to my siblings. Out in the world, people go, whoa, you're really a cat. You invent things. You write books. They go, no, I'm really a nice person. Well, that's because of the comparison to my family. So family gives you your self-image. Your self-image is way down in here. How you see yourself is a blind spot. You can't trust how you see yourself because of your family. So family is one thing. Then what is the next is context. Where are you a dog and where are you a cat? I'll give you some examples. How about financial? Do you take risks or do you like kind of routines? Careers. What do you do with your career? Craig's a cat. Craig's a cat. He's going to go for things. The one I love is this. Romance. Who's the dog and who's the cat in your love life? My wife, Gail, she is a dog to the whole world. You call my company, she will answer. Michael Grinder and Associates, Gail Grinder speaking, can I help you? She is really nice, except with one person. And you need to know, every dog needs an outlet for their cat. And every cat needs an outlet to be their dog. So Gail and I absolutely are perfect. Because I like being her romantic dog, and I am safe enough so that she can be the romantic cat. So I do things all the time for her. Yesterday, she got a book. I ordered it before I left America 10 days ago. I made sure I had a piece of paper. I wrote in the inscription. I put it inside the book when they came, and then my office people gave her the book. For Valentine's Day, she gets flowers. And I realized after a couple of years, if you give a cat flowers on the day they're supposed to get it, it doesn't work. That's what you do with dogs, but not with cats. So now every time there's an occasion where she expects to get something, I have to fool with it. I have to move it around. It's got to be a surprise of some kind. So 2 years ago, on February 1st, she got 24 roses. And the note said, I can't wait 14 more days. I love you too much. Good luck. Good luck. For our 34th wedding anniversary, we have these little chocolates at home called Kisses. And so what I did was, I made sure I got up early, and as she walked into the bathroom, I made sure I wasn't there. I got up early. On the floor, I've taken these little kisses, 34 years, and I spelled out the number 34. Then on the shower head, I took a cord and I ran it down to the shower ground, and I wrapped roses around it. Then I had this big, big sign that said, 34 years. I kiss the ground you walk on, and I shower you with flowers. I'm one sick puppy. Madly in love with her. But I can't do, see, I have the urge to give her something. No, you can't do that. You've got to figure out, what does the cat want? Surprises. They want surprises. What does the dog want? Never surprise a dog. They want routines. Give you some more, just so you can really, sorry about this, sir. Her birthday's during the summertime. So one year, I hired a skywriter to put her name in a cloud. My license plate, personalized. It says Galesy on it. I couldn't get Gail, someone already had it for the state I live in. But I took the little border that holds the license plate on, and I had it made personally, and it says Michael's Addiction. How do you understand your love life? Are you the dog or are you the cat? Because we know from the book called The 5 Languages of Love, we normally love the way we want to be loved. You have to love the way they want to be loved. So in general, with the cats and with the dogs, here's the secret. Tease the cat, please the dog. Tease the cat, please the dog. We're going to say it twice. Ready? Ready? Let's go. Ready, go. But this time we're going to go like this. You're going to keep your head still. You're going to go, tease the cat, please the dog. Ready, 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 go. Head still, go. Palm down, go. There you go. Secret to life. Secret to life. So you're going to be in groups of 2s and 3s. Don't go 5, it takes too long. Would you please share 2 people you know that are dogs, 2 people you know that are cats. Do not describe yourself because it's too much of a blind spot. But when you say this person is a dog, you have to say in what context? In what context? Because it's different for each context. So how you raise children is huge. Example, you already raised your hand if you're a parent. You have a baby. The baby is born. You wish the baby a good, good life. But how do you wish it? If they are a dog, you say as a parent, I just want my children to be happy, happy, happy. But if you have and you birth a cat, happiness is not a big value to a cat. Honest. Being happy is not what they want. So what is your wish for a cat? By the way, when they're this small, you don't know if they're a dog or a cat. For a cat, what you wish is, I hope you live in interesting times. That's what a cat wants. They like variables, changes, the future. That's why most dogs are going like this. The future, it keeps changing. Oh, the cats go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're waiting for the latest invention. But it's so different for everyone. If you would, you have about 4 minutes. Please share in groups of 2s and 3s. Who do you know that's a dog? Who do you know that's a cat? Talk. Talk to each other. Talk. But we want to cover some more content. Couple more ideas, then I can talk about spiritual facilitation. Because this is all the background you need in order to figure out, oh, what am I doing when I'm communicating with someone else? We want you to do a doctor's visit. So in just a second, in pairs, one's a doctor, one's a patient. If you're a group of 3, you're just a member of the family visiting with the patient. You're going to have the greatest empathy. You're going to have that nice rolling voice. You're going to bob your head. Your palm is going to be up and say, thank you for coming. Then you're going to be very, very sorrowful. And you're going to say, I hate to tell you this, but you have X. Now, as soon as you've done that, we now want the same doctor, same patient to have another one. Only this time we're going to change it around. This time, when you say, thank you for coming, and you've done eye contact the whole time, then you're going to switch and say, look here at the x-ray. Here is an X. So this one, you broke the bad news with eye contact. This, you did not look at the person when you broke the bad news. Now, why is this important? We want to introduce you to, in my opinion, the greatest nonverbal pattern we've ever discovered. If you have two people that are talking to each other, we're going to suggest this is called eye contact. But there's another name for it. It's called, here's one person, here's the second person. So we're going to change eye contact and call eye contact two-point communication. Folks, 10 years from now, this is going to be the number one thing I think you're going to remember from tonight. Share this with as many people as you can. We've been overtrained in eye contact, especially women. We've got to break that habit. If we have an x-ray and the doctor looks at the x-ray, the doctor has to look at the x-ray, and the patient looks at the x-ray, now we have 1, 2, 3 parts. So the opposite of two-point communication is three-point communication. Now, we want you to experience this. What is the difference between the two? This is all two-point. That's all it is, straight eye contact. This begins with a two-point. Thank you for coming. That's a two-point. Let's look at the x-ray. That's a three-point. Break the bad news at a third point. So your rule of thumb is, anytime you have something positive, 2 point. It's a rule of thumb. There's many exceptions. Anytime you have something that's negative, try to do it at a third point. Now the question becomes, why? We want to show you ahead of time. We're doing doctor visit now. Just doctor visit. If you make eye contact, that's a 2 point, and you say something negative, it goes to their core. Think of all the people you know that go to a doctor visit, and this is the doctor visit. They don't come home and say, I have cancer. They say, I am cancer. They identify with it. Whereas if the doctor had done the x-ray, they're more optimistic. Why? Negative information done with a third point goes to the behavior level. It's part of me, but it's not my core. Now I'm optimistic. I can work with my own convalescence. But the other thing that's really important is I don't hate the doctor. See, in this case, the messenger and the message got mixed up in my mind. This case, very clear. There's the doctor and then there's the message. Two separate. Now, you know what this is leading up to. When you do spiritual facilitation, if you're going to access something that they're not very proud of in their past, and you do that with high eye contact, you may be worsening the situation from a psychological standpoint. Literally, once you understand this, I promise you're going to get to be a doctor and a patient. You have to really talk to yourself and make sure there is I am and there's I have. You have some things, we all do, that are over here that needs to be moved. Example, and I had to correct myself. I used to say, I am an asthmatic. Now I say, I have asthma. I am dyslexic. I have to be careful of my changing of letters and numbers. This gives me hope. This does not give me hope. Hands if you know what I'm talking about. I need to check. I need to check. So now you have to go back and go, whoa, there's certain imprints, sometimes coming from the pulpit, that gives you impressions of who you are and how valuable you are because of 2-point versus 3-point. If this is making sense, would you raise your hand? I need to check. All right, now let's go to a doctor visit. In just a second, the doctor and the patient, you're both going to stand, shake hands, immediately do it this way. 2-point, 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 2-point. Then just, and please, do not say cancer. You say X. Even in a role play, it's X. Just say X. Now do the same doctor, same patient, and I'll say, thank you for coming. Look right here at the X-ray. Now here's so hard. You're the doctor. When you say, look at the X-ray, you've got to look at the X-ray. Because if you go like this, here's where X is. Keep looking at the 3rd point. That's what's so critical. You know who's really good at understanding 3rd point? Is police officers. See, 20 years ago, they would pull you over and they'd walk around in front. They'd make eye contact and say, do you know how fast you're going? That causes a lot of danger. What do they do now? They walk up and they look at your steering wheel, peripherally watch your hands. That is a very short conversation. Why? Because you're doing management. I asked you before if you are parents. I'm not going to ask again. Different question. How many people are parents with teenagers? Now, this is where we go, bless you. Because if you understand dog and cat, and you understand eye contact, and you want to have a discussion with a teenager about cleaning their room, that's insane. That's insane. You're going to sit down and make eye contact? I need you to make... Folks, all teenagers have catness. If you want them to clean their room, you walk over to the room. Their door is closed. Slip a note under. Clean your room. Run as fast as you can. Get out of there. Why would you stay there? Why? You want to talk to a cat? Now, as a grandpa, I did it wrong with my own kids. Now I'm doing it wrong with my grandkids. So you just have to forgive yourself. But do you have the pattern of what you're trying to do? You just have a goal that you're aiming for. And that's what I want to share with you tonight. You don't have to agree, but just have some more information so you can make a decision. As you do this, remember, same doctor, same patient, don't debrief it, do this. Now, here's what's nice. This is the part that you want. After you've done the 2-point, thank you for coming. Look at the X-ray. This is where the X is. This is so cool. Now you're going to do 2 and 3. And you're going to say, and what we're going to do about it is. What? What we're going to do about it is. And you have your palm down. You go to your cat about the disease, but you go to your dog about the person. And once you get there, okay, I'm making life too hard. I love it at the Portland airport. I'm just above California. We have the best airport police I've ever seen. Among other things, they know how to communicate really, really well. And let me explain. They wear gloves. Smart. Smart. But this is the traffic, here's the pedestrians. They never look at the pedestrians. They just expect you to notice their hand. Pretend I have another glove on, it's a no. If you really do step off that curb, they will go like this. And you go, oh, sorry. But they don't look at you the whole time. You save the look. You save the look. Now it makes more sense. We've got to be better with our nonverbals. We're getting better at sports. I'm a referee. In the past, the referee would look right at you. Now they just give you the card. They don't look right at you. Why? Because that gets the adrenaline flowing. Here's your teenager. You've already said, go make your room. And you continue going like this. Go make your room. That's a fight. That's a fight. Teenagers, expletive said, now you're no longer talking about making your room. You need to respect me in this house. You're no longer doing the room. We're doing morality now. Who started that fight? Why? Because you made too much eye contact. After you've done it once, you've said it, you have to go like this. That is so hard to do because you want to go. Now you're back to John Wayne. What is your goal? If your goal is for them to make the room, this is tough. This is tough. You have to let them have the last word. Oh, that's so hard. Because later you're going to tell them they shouldn't have said that last word, but not now. If you want them to make the room, then do it the right way. But don't use it as a morality play in front of the rest of the household. Because some of the siblings are going, hey, this is good. Watch mom and dad with the kid. Don't be the live entertainment at home. Don't be a living reality show. Understand eye contact, verbiage. Ooh, what a difference it makes. Doctor and patient, would you please stand up? Greet your patient. Come on, greet your patient. Greet your patient. Greet your patient. Thank you for coming today. 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 Last concept. Last concept. It's called associated and disassociated. Associated is when you're in touch with all the levels. Disassociated is when you're not in touch with the core. Now here's your big concern. When you do spiritual facilitation, do you want them to be in a positive state or a negative state? And when? So here's spiritual facilitation. If you make eye contact and you're talking about something that's negative, it goes to their core and they feel guilty. Then if your sequence is, now receive God's grace, some of them can't receive it because they're already in a negative state. So now we get a double guilt. They're in the pew. We have them go back and remember something that's negative they're not proud of. Then you say, receive God's grace. The first feeling guilty is, oh, I did that. Then the second one is, I don't feel God's grace. Now I get a double guilt as I leave. So you got to figure out, how do you do that better? It's a choice. You don't have to agree with me. But if this is the well of memory, and this is a negative well of memory, if you send them into that well, and then they want to receive God's grace, it's difficult. But if you bring them out of the well, and they're here, they receive God's grace before that event, and you say, how would you act differently if you had God's grace before that incident happened? Now you have higher success rate. But I don't want to take away, some of us have a belief that you've got to make people feel shame and guilt to have a high dependency on the Lord. So I don't want to take that away. I just want to make you aware of it. But there's lots and lots of churches that do that. Now here we go back to dog and cat churches. In a dog church, who's ever up front wants you to follow what they say is your relationship. In a cat church, each person has to decide your relationship with your maker. Now, if you've gone to different churches and different denominations over your years, think of the most dog church because they're dogmatic. I've been waiting all day to say that one. Take all the spiritual paths. It's not either or. It's a continuum. Because a golden retriever is a dog. A German shepherd is a dog. But they're very different dogs. You have all kinds of cats. And then you have the Siamese. If you have a Siamese, all you know is you're part of the staff. So it's not either or. Now, let's go over here. If you do the well, the cats are going to rebel. They're fine with God's grace, but they have a lot of pride. So they want to do it with God before, so they have another version of how they could have handled that. Hands, if this is making sense. Hands, I need to know, need to know. So now you have choices. You don't have to buy this. Associate is what the well is. This is disassociated. Give you an example. There's 5 things you can do to do disassociation. I want you to just be aware, and you get to decide, because you're going to find I'm already doing some of these. In just a second, we're going to show you what's called direction, distance, elevation, object, and let me walk you through these. If you were going to be somewhere else in this room, in this church, and if you want to close your eyes, it's easier. Keep your eyes open, just go into a stair. Find something to look at. If you're going to be somewhere else here in this room, would it be in front of you or behind you? Would it be off to the right side or off to the left side? And nod your head as you select one of those directions. Now, how far away from your physical body would you be? How many meters? And just nod your head as you think about that. Now, what is your elevation? Would you be eye level, above eye level, or below eye level? And nod your head as you think about that. And what might be an object that is there? So it could be a window, the fan, pulpit. Now that's a disassociated state. You're removed. Now how do you get associated? If you want, keep your eyes exactly the way they are, and we're going to associate you. Start off doing an inventory from inside your body. Be aware of where your toes are. Or your feet. Are they both the same, or is one leg crossed at the knee? Be aware of how your stomach is. Are you leaning? Are you slanted? Be aware of where your hands are from inside your body. Be aware of your shoulders. Is your head straight? Is it off to the side? And then be very aware that it's Wednesday. And slowly come back. As you do, open your eyes, kind of move your body a little bit, move your body a little bit. So associated is in touch with yourself. Disassociated is separate. I remember the first time my firstborn was, and my mother gave me cologne. I had a baby and she gave me cologne. I said, Mom, I never wear cologne. She says, well, you never changed diapers before either. And what I did was I took the cologne. Every time I wanted to change the baby, just put a little cologne right there. She said, why would you want to smell when you're changing the diapers? I never thought about it that way. So I change diapers better disassociated than I ever did associated. It's a mixture. You go through life. How much associated, disassociated? You give me gelato, I'm not talking. I'm in touch with myself. You might want to talk and I'll go like this, but I ain't going to speak. Oh, yes. I want every last bite of it. Love it. If you want to understand, if something is positive, be associated. If something is negative, give yourself a choice of being disassociated. You don't want to, it's fine, but do you have a choice? Do you know how mechanically? So, direction, distance, elevation, object. Now, you could do that in terms of spiritual facilitation. Let me walk you through with your permission. I'm going to go outside the well. If you would, think of something, not the biggie of your life. We're just learning new skills here, okay? In the last 2 months, something you're not terribly proud of, but not a disastrous thing. Some interaction, choice, decision you made, and you wish you had done a better job. And raise your hand. I need to know how many people are going to participate. Something the last 2 months. Okay, now, watch what we're doing. Go back to that event and go back even further before it started. How many seconds? Some of us, it's a day. Go before the event started. And when you're before the event started, just nod your head. Now make sure you're at an object, a physical object. If it's indoors, outdoors, time of year, have an object you're at. Have your Lord there with you. Have your Maker there. Feel the grace of God. And let the event unfold only as fast as you there with your God is watching the physical you do that event differently. Only go as fast as you need to stay disassociated with your Lord and see what happens. Give that other person, that other part of you, more choices. Okay, now start to come back to me. Start to come back to me. So tonight, when your head hits the pillow, you can continue this process. But watch how you do it. You find the well, back it up, stabilize it with an object, have your Lord there. Watch as this other person that looks just like you go into this environment, but they do it differently. They don't go down the well. They act differently because they have God's grace. Hands if this makes a substantial difference in terms of your experience. So the question is, if you have a dog church, then they want you to bawl them out. They want to feel guilty. If they're cats, they won't let you make them feel guilty. They'll deny. So you have to decide your philosophy of ministry. When you're working one-on-one, in just a second, I'd like someone to come up, and I'm going to do spiritual facilitation with them. It can't be the biggie of life. Can I have a volunteer who would like to have spiritual facilitation? Please, if you like. Yes? How do I pronounce your name, please? Louise. Louise. Oh, it's my Louise. Hi. Good to see you, my friend. I'm looking forward to the interview afterwards on this. Please. We've been doing email with each other. All I knew was she was a blonde, so I was looking at all the blondes out there. Which one is Louise? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Okay? I want you to think of something in the last 3 or 4 months. Not the biggie of life, though. Okay. You have it? Is it indoors or outdoors? Indoors. And is it, what time of day or night is it?
Morning.
Morning. Would you start backing it up until she is okay? That Louise is okay. How far back did you go?
Sunday.
So you went to another day?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're in another day. Now you have to be at a different object. On that Sunday, are you indoors or outdoors? Okay. What's an object that you could be at?
Okay.
And that could be the real you at the object. You don't have to disassociate.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to call it the Sunday Louise.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yep.
All right. Are you relaxed?
Yes.
Good. I want you to think of any spiritual power that you select. Do you have a name for your spiritual power?
God, Jesus.
God, Jesus?
Yeah.
Super. So have God and Jesus' presence there. And make sure you can feel that presence. And see if you can feel maybe a different tingle in your body. And make sure you feel the warmth, security, the comfort of your Savior. Yes, if you'd like. Close your eyes. Keep enjoying. Bask in the grace of God. Know that you are loved. And what you're going to do is you're going to start unfolding Louise's life from that day forward, but you stay at the object. And what object on Sunday are you at, Louise? Is it a couch, a chair,
Just in the chair.
in a chair? What room is the chair in?
In church.
In church. So you're in church. Are you at the middle of the pew, the outside of the pew?
And at the end of the aisle.
The end of the aisle. And make sure that you have a sense of the Lord being there. And not just in the church, but with you. Can you describe your Lord's presence?
Yeah, he's like a lion and I'm like a cub.
Yeah. So kind of curled?
Under.
Yes. Protected?
Yep.
Shielded?
Yeah.
Nice. You stay there in the pew with your Lord and start thinking about what's going to happen the next day. But only let it unfold fast enough so that you feel your Lord at all times. And it's only the start of that incident. And freeze it as soon as you're at the start of the incident. And just nod your head when you're at the start of the incident. Now back it up a little bit more. You're teetering on the well. We need to get you out of the well. I promise I'll be with you in just a second. Keep your eyes closed. What I'm doing is I'm watching her breathing. She started to breathe high, so she was going into the well. So when you do one-on-one, you're watching the breathing. You have to make sure she's out of the well. Otherwise, we're going to lose our Lord's presence. So now, that's better. So make sure that you, in the pew, curled up with the lion called the Lord, watch how she acts differently. And I want you to have your Lord stretch through time and space to be there for her. And make sure you at all times feel your Lord. And what a difference it makes, knowing that you're in the grace of God. And when the incident is now different enough, make sure you come back and realize you're here. It's Wednesday night, and you're doing a demonstration with Michael. And you open your eyes when you're ready. Now, I need to tell you something else I'm doing that's really quite sophisticated. What I'm doing is I'm watching her inhale, exhale. And what I'm doing is only talking during her exhale. Because during the exhalation of breath, in all human beings, cross-cultural, You're releasing chemicals of calmness. Every inhalation you do, you're releasing chemicals of fight, flight, or freeze. So I only talk during her exhalation. And you're going to find that they get sleepy, they get tired, they get relaxed, but they feel so comfortable. Can you describe it in your mic? Can you talk about it? What did it feel like?
Hello? Is that working? I felt like at first I was rushing out of that place. And just waking up in the morning and feeling a little bit tense or a bit stressed. But then when you sort of took me back again, I actually felt like, it's pretty cool actually, I felt like God was stretching out over the whole year. I actually went for the whole year.
Might as well do the
Might
whole
as well
year.
get the
Yeah,
bang
might
for
as
the
well
buck,
whole year.
And so I actually felt like he covered the whole year, and I was under his cover for the whole year.
And did Louise in this picture act differently?
Yeah, because the picture is he's actually sitting on me, so I can't run away like a crazy girl. And I'm calmer and slowed down.
Right.
The thing that you said about slowing down
Slow it down.
and going at the pace really spoke to me.
Yes. Now, we need to what's called integrate. And what we're
Yep.
going to do now is, you're still, if you go back to being in the pew on Sunday, your Lord is there. And your Lord was with the Louise ambitiously for the whole year. But let's go back to this one incident that happened the next day. Okay. When the incident is over, Louise has acted differently. Just nod your head. Okay, now make sure you invite her to join you in the pew. And have her come and try to figure out, is she on your right side or left side? Is she in front of you or behind you? And make sure the two of you become integrated, become one. You're one Louise. Nice, nice, that's nice. Open eyes when you're ready. Because we had two Louises. So now we have to bring her back and... You understand? Yeah. I have had one psychology class my whole life. So I don't know psychology, but I do know people's breathing because my specialty is nonverbal communication. I would invite a male, if he would like to come up, and let me do another demonstration so you can just see variation. But first, a hand of applause for Louise. Thank you. Looking for a male, looking for a male, looking for a male. Please, John. They'll be impressed I know your name.
Highly credible.
And if you just hold that.
Thank you.
John, would you think of something that's happened in the last 3 or 4 months that you're not especially proud of? By the way, this is called content-free facilitation. I don't know anything that's going on. But I can observe so well breathing that I know his process of what he's doing. And that's what makes it artistic. Do you have an incident in mind? Did it happen indoors or outdoors?
In the car.
In a car. And were you the passenger, the driver? Driver. Would you back that up so that the car and the driver are doing absolutely fine? Back it up. How far back did you have to take it to have it be okay? About an hour. So go back an hour. What part of the roadway, motorway, city is the car 1 hour before that incident?
It's in the driveway.
It's in the driveway. So you're in the driveway, agree? Okay, are you the only one in the car? So make sure that now you have your Lord with you. And make sure you feel the presence. Make sure you feel enveloped, surrounded by your Lord. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong do you feel your Lord?
7.
We need at least a 9. We need a 9. So take your time. Make sure your Lord can say things to you so you get from a 7 to an 8 to a 9. You never have to go 10. Never have to go 10. What number you at? I believe you. I believe your face. I believe your face. So now you and the Lord are going to start traveling. And he's got to be there at a 9. Only drive that car, not the car. You drive the car as fast as the car needs to go. But the video footage of the car traveling is what is distorted. Stay at a 9. There, that's better. No, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Okay. Now, feel the peace. There you go. Now, the incident is not going to happen the way it did. It's going to be a different version. This is God's grace version of the incident. Yeah, that's it, that's it. And it's joyous. It is joyous. Enjoy it. Relish in it. Bask in it. And let me know when the incident is different and over. Okay, now go back to the driveway. Make sure you're at a 9. Make sure your Lord is there. Now invite the John that did the original driving 1 hour later to be with you in the car. Make sure he comes over and kind of actually goes into your body and you become one. There you go. That is so cool. And just enjoy the joy of it. As Nelson Mandela said, you're a child of God. Acting small in the world does not serve your purpose. Shrinking so that other people are more comfortable around you. You're a child of God. It's okay to be intelligent, gorgeous. Absolutely. And take that, if you like, with Louise and do it for the whole year. I mean, she's ambitious, so she's going to do it. Do you mind sharing what it was like? Can you share with the people? In the microphone.
Yeah, being able to, Jesus was my co-pilot, to quote to famous movie. And at the moment of choice, a hand, it just felt very comfortable, very joyful to actually, move away from that decision point. And it felt quite easy, and it felt completely supported and comfortable. And when I came back and I got in the back seat and then got back into me, as I put my hands on the wheel, and Jesus also put his hand on my shoulder, I felt whole. I felt completed and capable and just confident about it.
Your eyes, I wish we had a picture of it. It was like the advertisement for God's grace. It was so, it's like you were washed over on a beach and just.
Very much. And that piece that you mentioned, finding that. And when you could feel that, when you could feel his touch flow through you and you found the peace in it, and then you knew that whatever decision you made was okay, and it was possible to make a different one. So that was choice. That was great.
Another hand of applause for you. Thank you, John. Can I ask volunteers, no questions at this time, what are you walking away with? What are you going to take with you from tonight that you find helpful? The food was good. Okay, something else. The 3-point, 2-point, 3-point. Eye contact. The breathing. Associate, disassociate. Cat, dog. Yeah. Yeah.
And there was unbelievable empowerment
Yeah.
by taking God with you.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Because I actually did it on a more serious point.
Yeah.
And it still worked.
It still worked. In fact, what you're going to find is, for some people, they had a car accident. So what they want is not that they're with their Lord, they don't have the car accident. They recover with God's grace. So sometimes you don't stop the negative, because that's really not what's negative. It's your reaction to it.
All of the stuff that made it okay.
Yeah. Don't sweat the small things. With God, they're all small. Without God, everything is big. With God, everything is small. Yeah. Would you please thank Craig for sponsoring this tonight and putting it on and making sure.